Nothing's working today. Nothing. Welcome back. I have some comments from videos I've produced recently, and I wanted to share them and kind of go over that with and answer my, how do I put that, frequent commenters, which I appreciate very much. I enjoy that back and forth. The first one is from DJB. DJB is my unofficial, I'm going to announce that now, my unofficial safety officer. He's very often calling me out on things he sees in the shop, which I'd be very careful about. So I appreciate that. I really do. I kid when I say safety second, but I am well aware that I need to be more safe, and you can never be too safe. I mean, I forget things all the time and think just like, oh, it'll be okay because there's this common state of I'm not in danger. So anyway, he made a point on the bolts on the beams there. He says I wouldn't trust those bolts with the D-rings. Yeah, I think I probably agree. I probably agree with you. The D-ring I have is pretty substantial. I'm not worried about it failing. It's not going to fail. The strap would fail way before, or any kind of hardware would fail way before this. And the connection to the panel underneath, while I think I have enough bolt strength, those are not grade 5 or grade 8 bolts. And I'm not sure they need to be, but they are stainless steel. And you saw how easily they broke when I just was putting them together, if you watched that video. So I agree with you. I'm more likely to connect the D-rings to the sill in the back. It's a frame portion there. It's very strong. And then up at the front, there's more substantial steel there that has not been welded together, as you saw, cobbled together, let's use that word, poorly by me. So I agree with you, and I thank you for the comment. I also got a comment from Harwoods 11, and he says, is it possible to use Nutserts instead of separate nuts and bolts and washers? Well, that's a good question. So Nutserts, oh, I printed a picture. So Nutserts are here. So this is what a Nutsert will do, and it's really super awesome when you can't get a wrench on it. There's a video online by Pete's Garage, I think it is. Let me look it up here. Where did I put that? Pete's Garage, yeah. And I'll link that video in the description down there if I remember. And you can see why you would use a Nutsert. These, I can get to both sides very easily. I can get to the top and I can get to the bottom with wrenches. So Nutserts, not necessary. Yes, I could have used them, but was not necessary since I can get to both. I can use I think, a better solution by using a nut and a bolt. The Nutserts are good, and I don't know how many times you can use a Nutsert, and there's varying quality levels of those. So where you would use those specifically is where you can't get to one side of the nut. So you can get to this side with the ratchet, but you can't get to it to hold it. That's probably the best place for those. So thank you for the question. Check out Pete's video. It's really very informative, and it's good. And then the last one is from my son, Drew Realtor. It says, better goggles when sparks are flying, please. Another safety issue. This is, I think he just basically is just doing self-preservation with this post because he doesn't want me to wind up blind and sleeping on his couch and having him to have to take care of me the rest of my life. So I appreciate that, son. Thank you. I will take that point back, and I will make sure that Grady wears his goggles, or any of the other grandkids if they're in the shop. I did get Grady some fancy goggles to wear. I'll make sure he's wearing them in the future videos. And if you don't see him wearing them, call me out. That's what I want. All right, let's get to some welding. I think that's what we're going to do today. We have the panel up. Why did I put that up like that? I don't know. we're gonna put the panel in today, and what's that doing? Oh, good. Updates. We're gonna put the panel in, we're gonna do some welding. I needed to charge my battery on my drill so I can get the plug welds done. There's a lot of them. I will count them before I start, so I will give you the number. But that's basically what I'm gonna try to do, how much of that I can get done today. And if I can get welds to stick, that's the actual thing. I've got to figure out, make sure that they stick, because this thing cannot move around while it's in there. So we'll be doing some experimenting on that and making sure that my first few welds are really good, and then we'll move forward with the rest of the welds around the truck. Okay, I only got one shot at this, so I took a little bit of pause and started looking at some things. And so on that bracket right there, I went ahead and prepped it for welding, which meant I grinded off all the stuff. Because once I get up underneath there to weld that back together, I'm not gonna be able to get tools up in there. It's gonna be underneath the truck, so that's kind of crummy. Okay, so then I took one more over underneath the truck on points where I probably need to be aware of where it was gonna rest. This I had forgotten about, and this is where the welds came through from the bottom, and it had bubbled up my truck bed liner. So that would have just been an immediate rest spot. So I've ground those down, got those taken care of. I found a couple of nicks on places where they need to be fixed. Where's the other one? There's one over here. This is a prep for the weld for that bracket I just showed you. There's another one. I'm standing in the wrong place. Or maybe I already sprayed it. Maybe I already sprayed it. Did I already spray it? Yes, that's it right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over this. There's another one. See, if you don't just take a few minutes to pause and think, neighbor's dogs are going crazy. And now my dogs are going crazy. So now my dogs are barking back. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do another surface prep for this bottom underneath, because once it's under the truck, it's probably just gonna be rusty. It's probably gonna rust. So, because I won't be able to get back under there and get tools where they need to be and everything. So I'm gonna spend some time doing that now, listen to the dogs bark, and I'll come back when we're ready to put it back in the truck. Okay, if this thing rests from here, it won't be for lack of trying. So that was 1.5 cans of bed liner sprayed into every freaking nook and cranny. So we'll see if that will keep the rust from happening again, maybe. Hopefully for at least the life of the vehicle that I'm gonna be using it in anyway. So, okay, let's get ready to mount this back in the truck and start doing some welding.
2 hours later.
You're probably saying something like, let's get on with the video. Okay, well, so I have some fit problems. So I put it in and it doesn't fit. Specifically, I have a problem with the far corner here. It won't come all the way up into this corner. So there's literally, I mean, I probably put a screwdriver through that hole that is occurring there. So it's cattywampus in there. So it's cattywampus. That's a phrase from the past. It's angled wrong. So I've come back through and I've bent all of these ends in underneath. So that changes some of the dynamic of it too. So all of these have been bent. That one could be bent some more. We should bend it some more. Where's my bending tool? Bend it. One-handed bending, that's not too bad here. I'm really good at hammer. Okay. Okay, so that's basically it. So basically, all the way around. You can see a bump there and a bump there where the wheel wells out. I don't know how I'm gonna solve that yet. I need to get the part in there and then see if I've got a lot of twists and movement. I've cut some more of the bracing off on the ends here on both sides. So it's definitely flush across here. So it's not one of the pieces causing it to push in and out. So I thought I had it right. And then when I put it in the last time, this was the strap and it was sticking out a couple of millimeters, 1/4 of an inch, less than a 1/4 of an inch, like 1/8 of an inch. And it matters, it really matters into getting that in to cover the 1/8 of an inch in the front. So it's taking forever. So a couple hours into this, I need a beverage, I need to wait for that to dry a little bit, then I'm gonna stick it back in. So some time passes. Nothing's working today. Nothing. Okay, so stop. Hang on. Let me turn off the TV. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So we have fitment problems. I think I just mentioned that. Here's what we got. All right. So we've got the warp in this. Okay. So I've pressed this. I see how that's not flat. There's flat. So the trick is to get that welded that way while it's still there. The temptation to put self-tapping screws all the way around this thing is very high. Very, very high. And just weld the back. I don't know if I can get the panel underneath this one to participate properly, especially up front. And on the other side, it's maybe even worse. I've got it down here, but you can see there's already a gap forming where that is, this metal and this metal are not flush. And it's because of that right there in the middle. So the ridges are too high in the centers and these bottoms are bad. So brain thought, so how about if I put a bottle jack underneath it and just jack it up to press that piece of steel up. So using the weight of the vehicle to bend it in place. That's a thought, especially on this side. But maybe, I don't know, on this side. So I'm gonna see if I can get a couple of welds to stick, and then I'm gonna start thinking about it some more. So welding time for me. Yeah. Are they holding? Are they holding? I fear to hit them with the hammer because I don't want to know. Ugh. So I had to take off all of the paint on the bottom panel. There's no rust protection now between this piece and this piece. And I know that's going to be what will cause this to rust out again. Just hoping I can afford a new car or I'm dead. Dare we try? Or do we put the panel bracket jack thingy underneath first? Okay. This sucks. I'm doing a job of this, so it's got to be fixed. And much to my chagrin, look at me using the big words today. Hey, remember that strap that used to be strapped, that used to be welded on right there? 3 flexes later and it ain't. That wasn't welded at all. And my rust abatement was problematic. See how red that is? That's red underneath that whole amount of paint. And in some of these places too. I've gone around and cleaned all of the metal where the welds will be. Yeah, this one. Oh no, I got them all. You know what works when you weld? What works when you weld is when you have 2 pieces of metal and the ground is on both pieces and they have, both of them are touching when you start welding. I'm not doing that. I'm pretty sure that's what my problem is. I have painted steel that I'm trying to just clean specific spots off of to get my welds to stick, and they're not. So I know that's not working. So I need to have metal on metal, clean, ready to go, and then weld it. I don't know how I am going to keep rust out from there if I do it that way though. I really don't. Don't have any idea. There's a punch in the gut. This sucks. I'm a bit disappointed in myself. And that's all it's going to be for this week, because this is a long video if I don't cut it off here, because if I start welding this will be 5 hours long. And I got a lot of work to do to get this where I can get it welded together. Really frustrating. All right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry we're not finishing this today. I'm a bit bummed. All right. Setbacks. Are we having fun still? Yes. Kind of. Today sucked. I was really hoping today would be better. All right. Let's just go. See you next week. All right, where's the bloody...